But yeah, it just attacked me out of nowhere, and I was like, this cactus attacked me, and you were giving me shit like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure those are defensive.
Yeah, there's no offensive
spikes.
capabilities.
They're not like on offense shooting out cacti, but.
I told my wife about it. She's like, there you go. Going off trail, you idiot. You deserved it. And then the next day, both you and should we not say your name? Probably.
Yeah.
they both got massages. And both of your masseuses independently said what?
Out of the blue, they were like, yeah, the cacti here actually shoot out like balls and attack people.
Yeah, they're called jumping cactus. Was it jumping cholla? A jumping
cholla, yeah, because it sounded kind of racist.
Yeah. And, that racist cactus attacked me. Welcome to another episode of Once Upon a B&B. This is Ian.
This is Maha.
Oh, we got Ghost here. Come here, buddy.
This is Ghost.
All right.
He's a little chunky. What's this guy eating?
Well, he's actually lost a couple pounds.
You should have seen
face. Him. You should have seen him last episode.
Really?
If a couple weeks ago, he was up to 40 pounds.
Jeez.
He's down to, I think, 36. So.
What's his normal weight?
His ideal weight's 34.
Okay. Almost there, Ghost.
Yeah.
He looks like he needs to lose more than another 2 pounds, but none of my business.
That's between us and the vet. We just got back from a trip, though, without our animals. That sucked not bringing them, but we still had fun.
It was pretty ballin'. Like, I was a little bit blown away, so I don't know how much of this we should discuss so it's not brought up in deposition, but, every now and then, medical providers that we work with
show their appreciation.
Yeah, they show their appreciation. They want our business. We want doctors that, do a good job for our clients. So normally they'll like take us to dinner or maybe take us to a Hawks game or something.
That's why when they asked us, hey, do you want to go to a Hawks game? I was like, yeah, sure. Assuming the Hawks game they were talking about was in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were both a little bit drunk. It was at Mardi Gras, a music festival / legal conference. So we were like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she like brought it up the next day and we were like, what exactly did we agree to? Turns out that they were flying us to Phoenix, putting us up at the Phoenician Hotel, which is like a nice resort there, and taking us to the Hawks-Suns game courtside.
Yeah, and they also like put together a big itinerary for us.
Yeah, flew us first class too.
Mm-hmm. We had some fun in the lounge, and then we arrived, came in hot, and then but like it was after 9, so like you land in Phoenix, you obviously want to go to the store, the cannabis store,
the dispensary,
and check out what's legal there. But it's too late, and we get to the hotel room, and like our hostess was out and about.
Yeah, she like had crashed some kind of other conference or something. But we had these little like welcome kits there, like a little welcome basket with like really nice skincare and snacks and like liquid IVs and pre-rolls and gummies. And Ian's dumbass thought that it was from the hotel. He's like, oh, yeah, cool, whatever. I was like, no, Ian, like, they made these for us. There's, like, an itinerary in there.
Sometimes hotels will put in the nice little, well, thanks for checking in. They put your name on it, the nice little touch, but that was them. That was awesome. And hotels usually don't add pre-rolls.
These other providers need to step it up.
Hey, you want to take us out to dinner here in Atlanta?
Right. Like, no, we only do work dinners out of the state now, moving forward.
Yeah, the game was great. We can talk about that, but what about the hike? Man, so they were like, oh, yeah, you want to do a hike? And they had like 3 options, and we went like the easy one.
Yeah, allegedly the easy one. What was it called? Tom's Thumb.
Yeah.
Tom's fucking thumb.
And it was what, like it was 5K away. It was like 2.5 miles.
It was almost 5 miles total, but it was like straight up a mountain. And before this, we stopped like at a gas station. It was like 10 a.m. I got a slice of pizza and a coffee. And they're like, do you want any water? I was like, nah, I'm good. It's fine. I got my coffee. And then
we bought Maha water anyways.
Thank God I didn't listen. They got me a water anyways. But we get there and I already knew something was up because everybody I saw had like hiking sticks and one of those like camel packs that you drink water out of. Like, they look like they really hike.
It is the desert, but and then the guy kind of warned us about it. He was like, all right, and then it starts out did he say it starts out tough and then it gets easier from there? That was another red flag.
Whole thing was tough. That was a lie.
Yeah. And then like, I guess first thing that kind of comes to mind, I don't think we're about a third of the way up. And I'm just kind of walking around, and next thing you know, I'm like, and I get stuck. We'll drop the video that we have of me, but I got stuck by. I mean, it was like those little
cactus ball.
But you know those little like prickly things you get in Florida that get on your socks and stuff. It was just a giant version of that. Yeah, it was the size of a baseball, And so I swear I wasn't like doing anything reckless. I was just walking along and and then next thing you know it just jumped out of nowhere and attacked me. But yeah, it just attacked me out of nowhere and I was like, this cactus attacked me and you were giving me shit like, oh
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure those are defensive.
Yeah, there's no offensive
spikes.
capabilities.
They're not like on offense shooting out cacti, but
I told my wife about it. She's like, there you go. Going off trail, you idiot. You deserved it. And then the next day, both you and should we not say your name? Probably.
Yeah.
they both got massages. And both of your masseuses independently said what?
Out of the blue, they were like, yeah, the cacti here actually shoot out like balls and attack people.
Yeah, they're called jumping cactus. Was it jumping cholla? A jumping
cholla, yeah, because it sounded kind of racist.
Yeah. And, well, that racist cactus attacked me. And but it was kind of cool to know that I wasn't making shit up. That thing did attack me. They really do. I guess that's how they procreate because they stick onto like unsuspecting furry things and humans going up to Tom's thumb. And
and then their seeds get spread
yeah.
up there. Okay, that makes a little more sense. We did make it to the top, dude. On the way up too, like we were dying, and every person coming down, I'd be like, "Are we almost there?" And they're like, "Ha, ha, not even close. Nope."
Yeah, that's why when I was like getting up, because I'm on the ground with that fucking thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna use my phone to knock it off because I knew not to grab it with my hand. This guy's like, no, use my walking stick.
Yeah.
And so the footage we have of me is just like popping it off, and then I had to pull the barbs out of the damn thing.
Barbs, that's what they're called. I could not remember.
And
I was like, dude, we could totally leave. That looks like it hurts. I don't know. I feel like we should just turn around.
I wasn't going to be the reason we turned around. And we all...
he was limping. I'm like, dude, you're limping. I feel like we should get you some medical attention. Are you sure it doesn't hurt? But nope.
Yeah.
He wanted to continue.
Made it all the way up. That basically took the whole day, huh?
Yeah.
What did we do after that? We just like died?
I don't... Yeah.
No, we went out to dinner that night. That's the opposite of what happened.
Yeah. We did. We went out to dinner, but that was cool. Then we went to the Suns-Hawks game, courtside. I will say their courtside lounge is much better than ours.
Yeah, you're eating lobster and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
a little nicer than the Hawks.
And it was like their old practice court,
That was
which
cool.
is kind of cool.
And they had like the way they walk into the stadiums, like a window so you can see it. If
Oh,
you're paying
yeah,
attention.
you see the players like walk in and out, even though we missed that. But
All around great trip.
yeah, it was awesome.
And
then coming back, this was pretty cool because they had bought our flights first class. And like me and Ian were on the same reservation. He needed to leave later. So I separated the reservation so I could change my flight to an earlier flight. Turns out it was $99 cheaper. So I got the $99 credit even though they bought my flight. And then first class on this airplane turned out to be like Delta One suites. Like, so the whole like lay down bed. Ian did not get that on his.
No, I was desperately trying to move my flight after that and just skip the meeting and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Also the resort was awesome.
Yeah.
They switched to Christmas while we were going to the Hawks game in record time. I was at that resort once before with and then Tanisha, my old assistant, I had to put her in an Airbnb nearby. There's like nothing else by the resort.
Oh, really? Damn, you couldn't get her a room there too?
It was nice. You saw how nice it was. Jesus.
I know, I'm kidding. Yeah, apparently our rep, they had her in like a jankier hotel, Holiday Inn Express until we got there.
What about our rooms? How sick were the rooms?
Oh my gosh, my balcony was like the size of like my, I don't know, something very big. It was huge. It was like as big as the room, basically.
Because we had the same floor plan generally, except mine was like lengthwise and yours was widthwise, and so you had it was the coolest room.
Yeah, I think I was like at the end. I had definitely the biggest balcony there, which is pretty tight.
A lot of balcony parties.
That
weekend.
Should have been. Oh, and all the Hawks players were staying at our hotel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because, like, people kept walking by in all this Hawks gear, and I was like, yeah, go Hawks. And instead of being like, yeah, go Hawks, they would be like, thank you. And I was like, okay, I guess they are part of the Hawks.
And also very tall.
And a Hawks player blew me a kiss at the game when he made a shot. Because me and Ian were literally the only Hawks players in the entire place. And we're, like, on the second row, like, loud as hell. So, like, when they scored, we'd go crazy. And one of them turned around and blew me a kiss. I forget his name already. One of us. He blew one of us a kiss. I actually found the highlight video of that. Of
we gotta drop that in here too.
I'll put that in the text. But yeah.
Yeah. Great time that was a work trip.
Yeah.
Tell some work stories.
Why not? I'm sick of reviewing clips. Let's talk about it. We've got some funny work stories.
All right. Well, then lead us off.
Oh man, so many. I've had some pretty crazy things happen in depositions before. First was like when I very first started practicing law, I worked for a firm doing employment discrimination. And we had like a pretty serious sexual harassment case where we represented, the plaintiff that was sexually harassed. And we had her deposition. And she was telling the story of the sexual harassment, but she kept saying buttocks instead of buttocks. And she was like, yeah, they would make comments about my buttocks and like rub up against my buttocks. And everybody in the room was like trying to hold back laughter so bad. But like it was really serious. We couldn't laugh, but like I was dying. Buttocks. I still say that all the time now.
Was it man's laughter instead of manslaughter?
Instead of manslaughter, yeah.
Wait, did the court reporter? Because all right, so the court reporter takes down everything they're saying. I'm just wondering, did that?
I know. I wish I would have like gotten that
transcript.
transcript and framed it. Buttocks. So funny.
Well, yeah, that's a tough one to top off the start. You know what? I was thinking about like early in my career, I had a pair of clients. It was a Ryan and a female name. And so I made the mistake of assuming that this couple, and also it was a minor as well, that the couple was a male Ryan and the female, a husband and wife, and it was two females, and they were kind of like, Ryan's, I'm a female. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Or I think I was talking to the female and then asked about her husband.
Did she also sound like a man?
Well, I was talking to the female. Well, they're both females. But I'm talking to the female,
the one with the girl name.
Girl name. And asking about her husband, she got, kind of corrected me for presuming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the name's Ryan.
It's Ryan, right.
So my apologies to your wife, and I'm end up talking to both of them. They're kind of needy clients. So throughout the process, in the beginning, we're talking to Ryan and I'll call her Sally. It wasn't. It was like a black female name. It's definitely not Sally. But either way.
I've never met a black Sally.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was the worst name to have chosen. But eventually we're talking about like they're ending up their settlement, and I guess somehow it never came up, but I'm like, all right, and so what about your daughter? Because it was a Ryan and a Ryan. She's like, Ryan is a boy.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what? And then like again, she was just like rude to me about it, and I'm like, okay, you're not seeing anything here. But that just always tickled me.
That's pretty hilarious. Like that little girl that I still swear to this day is a little girl at Lottie Gras that was like running around playing. And I was like, oh, she looks just like you. And she was like, he's a boy.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just because he had, or she, whatever it was, had long hair. Like it looked like a girl. Like it had a girl face and like was acting girl. I don't know.
But if you got the long hair and that age, you got to know that you're going to get.
Right. Don't be offended. She was very like snarky about it.
Especially nowadays.
And I really feel like she was trolling me and that was a girl.
Well, then all of a sudden I went from like kind of not liking that person to really think that's hilarious troll.
Right, exactly.
So
I also
50
had
cent level troll.
I had during a deposition once, a client lit up a cigarette. Because we do them on Zoom now. He literally was mid-deposition and just lights up a cigarette, starts smoking. I was like, what are you doing? I had another one recently. I'm representing a friend of mine who's also an attorney, so you'd think he knows better, right? We hop on the Zoom, and he's in his car, like, all sweaty. He's like, sorry, I just went for a run. And he's, like, walking around with the phone, going upstairs to change and stuff. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a deposition. Then he starts the deposition talking about how he couldn't run after the accident and, like, was supposed to, like, run this marathon and stuff. He literally just got back from running. Like, to be fair, the accident was 2 years ago. Like, he couldn't run then. Now he can. But, yeah, did not go well.
Guess you're back on the saddle.
Right.
That's wild. I've been deposed before when I got sued by my old amazing boss.
Really?
But
I just settled my case so I wouldn't have to be deposed. It was like the day before deposition. I was like, fuck it, I'll take the offer.
That's how it went the opposite route. So I got deposed. I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And he like video deposed me, like not Zoom, but like,
yeah.
We came to the office, did the, the background and all that fun stuff. But I thought it was cool to be on the other side of it. And then, so they do my deposition. And then right before his deposition, that's when he was like, fuck it, let's pay the man.
Really?
Well, they offered me...
Was this Mungie?
Yeah, this is Mungie.
Awesome.
This is the first... So they offered me the settlement on my birthday. Mm-hmm. And then I remember my lawyer called me. She's like, hey, we're going to send you an email with like, but they agreed. First, they were like... They agreed to everything, and they had asked me for $60,000. I regret them talking me down, but I was like, what about my PTO? It was like $6,000.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to pay me my PTO. So that's what we were asking for. They agreed to all my demands that night, and I never got the email. And I got home. They like did a surprise party for me. So like I get home a little tipsy. I'm like, all right, whatever. I go to bed, And then I wake up the next morning and I have an email from my lawyer saying, hey, they reached out. Everything's the same, but no money exchange. And I was like, no money
No,
exchange.
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
And well, they had sued me for the money, so it's already now they're having to pay me, which is nice. But like, oh, no money exchange, go fuck yourself. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's not about to sit for the deposition he didn't prepare for,
right?
Last second. Never mind if you ever met this guy, he is a little touch of the tism. He's a little awkward.
Yeah,
and I was like,
touch of the tism.
There's no way this guy was sitting for this depo. And so,
also in depositions, you can ask literally anything.
Yeah, and also the other thing that never happens, but the other party's allowed to be there. We advise our clients not to be there. But I was like, hey, listen to my lawyer. Tell Scott that I will be at it. He has till the 11th hour to change his mind and meet our demands.
Hell, you're an
I'll
attorney.
Be there.
You could ask him questions if you wanted to. There's no rule against that. Because when I filed suit on my case that I settled because I didn't want to be deposed, I represented myself. Like everybody else hires another attorney. I was like, fuck that. I'm just going to do it. But yeah.
Well, who would have conducted the depo and defended your depo for yourself? Yourself?
Me, yes.
That would have been hilarious.
I know. It would have. I should have done it just for the comedic relief. But yeah, imagine like them asking me a question and then me, objection, but I can respond.
That's awesome. Well, that's why I think every attorney should handle a little of their own legal work too.
Right.
I'm doing it right now.
I just didn't want them to start asking shit that could be used against me in other cases. Like, so what's your relationship to this medical provider? Like, blah, blah, blah. Also, I didn't remember anything about my case really, but yeah. Have you had any other crazy deposition stories?
Crazy. I mean, just kind of the standard stuff where, clients, I mean, nothing, I feel like nothing that holds up to what you just said.
I had another one. I'm saying ever since we started doing these Zoom depositions instead of in person, I see some wild shit. Like I had one, we told our clients make sure you're somewhere quiet, you're alone, and you have a stable internet connection, right? Well, apparently, the only place this dude could go that was quiet with a stable internet connection was his bathroom. He literally was sitting on the toilet. Like, not using the toilet, but sitting on the toilet doing his deposition, like shower curtain in the background, everything. I was like, bro, I mean, I guess that met the criteria of what I told you to do, but...
At least it wasn't a shared bathroom.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I also just all the time, like, the clients you prep the most, I swear, fuck up the most. Like, I have this case, which the deposition happened recently, 2 impacts, right? So, like, first impact hit my client's car, and then another car immediately hit that car behind him. We sued both. The first guy that hit him, they tendered. Second guy wouldn't pay, so we file suit, right? So the whole case is about the second impact. They were trying to argue that, like, after the first impact, his car, he was, like, turning at the time, and it, like, pushed his car down the hill. He was already down the hill before the second impact happened. Yeah. So our whole case was like, no, he felt 2 hits, boom, boom. We talked about it for hours. He gets in there, he's like, I don't know if I felt a second impact. My eyes were closed. I don't know what happened. I was like, what? That is this whole case. Like, what are you talking about?
We just had one like that where this is a MARTA case, and this guy, they offered $30,000 right when we started the case, and then the video came out afterwards. And they should have given the video right away. We would have dropped the case.
Exactly. I hate it when they do that.
So stupid. They're costing themselves money, and they just
I've had them pull out, like, smoking guns at deposition. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you wasting everybody's time? You could have just told me this. We wouldn't have deposed.
This guy, I guess, did it after the deposition, but they offered 30, and then we get this video, and there's nothing there. So I'm like, all right, that's our client. I sent him a picture. And I'm like, is that you? And that we have trial. We now have trial coming up. So
wait, what was in the video?
Of nothing. And so he's like, oh, that's not me. And I'm like, okay, well, regardless if and it was him, he's lying. But like, even if it could have been this other guy, I was like, no one in the bus fell. I was like, well, how did you hurt yourself there? I won't know his name, sir. And he was like, oh, and then for the first time, I was like, must have been another accident.
Oh my God.
And so I was just like, all right, well, we're going to lose next week. I've gotten them to put the $30,000 back on the table.
Which is a miracle in and of itself.
I was trying to be like, if you give me a little more than 30, I can get it. But they're like, I got the 30. And so I was like, well, that's a win. Yeah. So I was like, listen, you should take it. And
must have been another accident. Oh my God.
I was like, there's not going to be enough for, this guy. He'd gotten some loans. It wasn't enough to cover that even, but I was like, you should still take this and pay, get your medical bills covered. And we didn't go to trial, thankfully, because he took it.
Yeah, people fuck up their own depositions and then get mad that, like, the case doesn't go well. Like, it's your own fault. Yeah, the one with the smoking gun, it was a slip and fall case. and he claimed he was at a Publix and like slipped in the bathroom on some water, hurt his back, like, had neck and back injuries, whatever. We get to deposition, and the attorney brings up that apparently a week before he was working at Checkers and claims to have slipped in oil and hurt his back and like left and never came back to the Checkers, never came back to work. Like exact same injuries, exact same scenario. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't you just tell me this before? Somehow still settled it for $5,000.
Hurt my back twice. I don't know.
Right. No, he admitted basically he was lying. Oh, and in that same deposition, they asked him like about his job history and stuff, and he volunteered that he used to sell drugs. Like just out of nowhere, he's like, "Yeah, well, I
It's
used
a
to sell
job."
drugs." Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, what? People are crazy. And a lot of times at deposition, they just assume the other person knows something, so they just like admit to shit that they should never admit to.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, even when you do the full, like I like to do a full practice session with them, and it doesn't matter. They're still...
I know. The ones that I do the practice session with, I feel like go worse than the ones that like wing it. Terrible.
Well, yeah, the videos. We definitely got some videos from depositions that could be some clip reviews.
Right.
That you just see some people eating shit. And
I had them videotape a deposition recently that was a Zoom deposition. Like I canceled and they charged me for a videographer, and I was like, but it was on Zoom. Like, are they recording the Zoom call? Why do you need a videographer for that? It was so weird.
yeah, I mean, for that sounds like they're just trying to
Right.
cash in.
I mean, we redid it and there really was a videographer, but I still don't get it. I guess the videographer makes it to where it's only looking at the witness and not the person asking the questions, and I don't know what they do, but
Highway robbery. is what they-
right, yeah. How about ungrateful clients? That's one of my favorite. Not my favorite. That's like the bane of my existence is ungrateful clients. I swear the ones you like do the best for are always the ones that like complain the most.
Yeah, you got to kind of start with those so they take up, otherwise they'll take up even more of your time. But
Yeah.
like, even though I try to start with the needy clients, even though you shouldn't reward bad behavior,
Right.
but you kind of have to. But every once
We
in a
like
while,
have a tag for cases like disgruntled client, beware.
or like when you like what I'll do, like if you miss the first call or two and they keep calling, then I can't just answer because
That will make me not answer.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, when they keep calling back to back to back.
I remember the first time that happened to me, like I was at Cambry and it was 37 times in a row, and like I was like I can't,
37 times?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. I've seen stuff that you're only supposed to see from a disgruntled lover.
Because then if you answer at that point, they're going to be like, why'd you ignore the first 36
I'm like,
calls?
'cause
So
I
you
was
just have to
busy.
keep ignoring
You just
them.
kept calling until I finally got off the call. That's not how this works. Yeah.
That's why I love working for myself, because I will go off on a client so quickly. Like, clearly I see you're calling and I'm busy. I will call you back, like, when I have time. Like, please do
Yeah.
not do that again.
Well, yeah, because I was at Cambry and like I was like, hey, I thought and when I got hired, they're like, if a client yells at I stick up for my employees, and like then all of a sudden it was like I should have talked to that client. I'm like, what? No,
Yeah.
But that reminded, I had a client. This is a really good case. We got like there's a $500,000 offer right now, and there's like $1 million in meds, $5.5 million policy limit. I finally
Nice.
get this guy to come down to 2.5, so we can like maybe settle, because we have trial. We got a trial date, but it's Fulton County, so like it keeps getting kicked for like
Yeah.
we're probably not going to actually have trial for like another year.
Damn.
And so, but getting the negotiations going. This guy's a little delusional about like the value of his case.
Oh, God.
And he's
I
also
have so
got
many
like
of
6
those.
accidents. That doesn't help, obviously.
Mhm.
But his wife is really the problem one. And also, this is a case that got referred to me because he fired his other lawyer. He's just super high maintenance. And he keeps getting accidents too. That doesn't make it easier. So we're kind
Yeah.
of punting on those cases. And I get an email from the staff attorney. This is like 2 weeks ago. That said that they keep harassing the judge's office.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I screenshot that and I text the client who was harassing me too. And I was like, this is not good for your case.
Yeah.
And he starts getting upset that the staff attorney had
Snitched on him?
had the audacity to CC the opposing counsel on that. Like, that's a conversation between us. Like, so pissed off about it.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, it's called ex parte communication.
Yeah, you can't do
They
that.
have to.
Yeah.
They have to include everybody. And also, yeah, you can't be doing that either.
You can't talk to them when you're represented. You can't talk to them, period, even if you're
And never mind,
unrepresented.
even if you could, why are you bothering them, making them
Yeah.
upset with you? The judge is kind of like, for our clients, our audience, who normally tunes into crazy travel stories, the judge is normally like the judge, jury, and executioner. Like they make the decisions about your jury and like
Yep.
everything else. So like you don't want to piss off the judge,
Right.
and obviously, but so then the client gets. I call him out on that. I'm like, hey, this is really messing up your case, and he's also being like, when's the next offer? I'm like, we don't want to act desperate, and so they
Yeah.
of course be desperate and hit up and of course now. I think is this State Farm? I can't remember, but they feel emboldened now, right? So it's obviously curbing everything. But he's like,
'Cause
yeah,
that shows exactly what kind of witness he's going to be on the stand.
exactly,
Unhinged.
And so he's like, well, my wife's mother is a judge, and so is an attorney, blah blah. And I was like, okay, great. Well, you can obviously full of shit. Otherwise,
Right.
you wouldn't
Why
have hired
didn't
me.
you use them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, then you can ask them to explain why why that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And so then he fired me from his other case in the midst of that. I was like, that's fine. And just like all in a tissy.
It'd be kind of tight if he fired you on this case because you would still get your fee
yeah,
and not have to worry about him.
just wait to get, and then like he's gonna make it harder for anyone to up it too much. So
Right.
we got the
exactly.
$500,000 offer.
I know. I love when clients fire me when I already have the top offer. I'm like, that's literally the same as if I would have just settled it. I'm still going to get my fee.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be, like have a little grace for this guy. I mean, this is just like he's one of our, tagged clients, and I just have to, we have, more calls than are necessary. Just kind
Yeah.
of talking him off the ledge, but that's the life we lead.
Yeah. Dealing with property damage has been the gift and the curse.
Yeah,
because it'll get you cases
in the
because
door.
people only care about their property damage. It'll get them in the door, but then they're pissed off at you when it doesn't go right, even though you're doing it for free just to help them. So I had this case where it was a client that only wanted to deal with his property damage, and he was hurt, so we sent him to treatment, but it was like pulling teeth. You could tell that he only was treating because he wanted us to fix the car, right? So he only had $2,200 in bills. Only went to the Cairo a few times. I demanded $50,000 from Geico, just on a whim. Like that's what we calculated, our beefed up, pain and suffering and stuff. And then they paid it. And then so we tell this guy, we get the Cairo bills reduced. Like he's walking away with a shit ton of money, and he's just like, okay. I'm like, you didn't, what? You didn't even care about this personal injury claim. You only cared about your car. We got you all this money, and you're just like, okay. Insane. I hate people like that.
Yeah, I mean, that really is just an amazing lawyering right there. I remember you talked about that Geico case, because right now it's
clearly I've missed something. We didn't file suit, so there's no way for me to know, was the driver drunk or something like that, but it's gotta be.
Hey, he would have never found out because he didn't give a shit.
Right, exactly.
He would have been a terrible
But
plaintiff.
I'm like, fuck, I almost wanted to be like, never mind on the 50 and file suit and find out why they're paying this much. It could just be, end of the year.
Not
they
with
like
a
to
client
pay,
like
but
that.
I know, exactly. It would have never gone well. What kind of crazy cases do people call about that aren't a case?
I get, just lots of jail issues, which I don't do. I don't even, I've tried to refer them out, but no one wants them.
Right. It's got to be serious. But yeah, people little things happen in jail and they want to sue the government.
Or I got this rash because of something the doctor did wrong. You have to explain that medical malpractice, you need big damages.
That's tough because a lot of it, I'm like, yes, this is malpractice, but it's not a case we can take because just to file a malpractice suit is $50,000 to get the expert affidavit and stuff like that. So pretty much for a med mal case for an attorney to take it, it has to be a severe or permanent injury or both.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they malpracticed and shit went wrong if you were fully better afterwards.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not too much harm, no foul.
But people don't understand that. Yes, it is negligence, but it's not a case we can take. The one I get all the time is people finding stuff in their food. Not that they ate it, but just finding something in their food, and they want this one lady literally wanted $1 million because she found an object in her food at McDonald's or something.
It's gross.
I'm like, did you eat it? No. But did you die? Did anything happen to you? No. Okay, you don't have damages then. What is it? The shock of seeing it in your food is your damages? That's the part.
I guess that would depend on what it was.
Right. I guess if it was a finger or something, maybe.
But
it wasn't. It was
find the
something
body
normal. I
to
think it was
that finger.
a hair or something stupid like that, and she wanted $1 million. Another guy wanted $1 million because he had roaches in his apartment. I'm like, did they make you sick? Did anything happen? No. Well, sorry.
How much money is that per roach? I don't know.
Right. The most stressful part of the job is definitely dealing with clients, I would have to say. 100%. More than anything else. You become their therapist, their divorce attorney. Like, they want their hands held through they want to update when there is no update constantly. I'd say that's probably the biggest complaint we get is people wanting updates when there is not an update to give.
You do kind of have to share their stress, right? Because we're dealing with their pain, and then again, you're getting people are going through tough times, so you got to have.
Yeah, I get it. They're the ones that were in the accident.
And
They're the ones that are
this
hurt.
doesn't always happen, but when it does, you appreciate it. When someone's just a complete asshole to you, and then the next time they're called, they're like, and also, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it really is nice.
I don't know if this happens to you a lot, but it happens to me. Like, they'll be the biggest assholes to my team and be cussing them out and stuff, and then I get on the phone and they turn into a Girl Scout. Like, I don't know why.
That's actually like that last client I was just talking about who yelled, the wife is in nightmare, and he absolutely terrorizes my staff. I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And like we've had to like reassign cases because they're so rude to staff, and like I don't like. I'm not the one who like my old boss is like, I don't allow him to yell at my staff. I mean, you shouldn't allow it, but at the same time, we're gonna fire them. Like,
right,
hey,
exactly.
They're going through a tough time, you know. And
I do sometimes. If they're too big of an asshole, like I have a short temper, I'll fire their ass. I don't even care.
Yeah, I mean
it depends on how good of a case, I guess. Right. The better the case, the more I'm gonna put up with. But if you have a bullshit case and you're an asshole, no, thank you.
Yeah,
not worth it.
If you're real difficult, you better have a corporate.
Right, exactly.
Otherwise,
better be $1 million case. One time, I asked clients to send me pictures of their injuries, and they literally sent me a picture of their lower back with a Band-Aid on it.
That's pretty funny. That reminds me of a good one where I had a client, and I hate that we lost this case because he literally hired me the day after this. It's an anti-litem. It was a dump truck incident, and where like he got fucked up. The machine like dropped on the back of his truck when he was in it.
Oh shit!
But it still riled him up and messed him up. But he reached out a year and a day after, and so we immediately sent anti-litem notice and then filed suit right after. But like there's nothing we could do.
It was a day after.
Yeah, I just thought
anti-litem is so tough because of that.
Yeah, and it's like
and they always like even when you send it. If you do anything improper in it, it could be one word. I've had that happen. Yeah. If you put like approximately in there or exceeding, then it's over. But they wait until the deadline is passed before they tell you fucked it up.
It's so it's for our non again for people who are usually tuned in for the crazy stories. It's just when you see the government, you have a different standard and you have to notify them. Sometimes within 6 months, sometimes within a year. It depends on the type of entity. In this case, it was a year. And I told this guy from the outset, like technically it's too late.
Yeah.
We're gonna try because sometimes they'll still deal with you.
Yeah.
And so we tried that. We even filed the lawsuit on his behalf. So that's kind of but in the beginning, I guess he lost sight of that because eventually this is an example of upset, ungrateful client when we spent all this money.
You came to us when the case was already over and we still tried.
But in the beginning, he's all excited because he's like, oh, they're trying for me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, this is what we're gonna need. And so he's sending me before after photos and things like that. And so we go over his first case, and then like I was in Colombia working with the team, so all of a sudden like I'm like on to the next thing, and then Juan Pablo, this is his case, and he's like, Ian, the messages came in from this client, and he's sending me like shirtless mirror selfies of
oh my god
his before. And he was also like very friendly to me, and I wasn't sure exactly like how much we should read into his friendliness, but it was just
what were they purporting to show the shirtless mirror?
That
selfies?
is like since his accident, like it's been a year since his accident, his life's all fucked up and like he can't work out anymore and things like that. But it was just like him, like it looked like just like your douchey Tinder profile, like the ones that like don't have this, just like mirror selfie, and then like
men
a fish.
suck at taking pictures, dude.
Yeah, basically that, and then I think he did have a fishing one in there too, because that was one of his hobbies he couldn't do. So it was straight up a Tinder profile.
I had a client try to argue. Oh, sorry,
no, that's basically it.
I had a client try to argue in his deposition that he gained a bunch of weight because he couldn't work out and stuff like that, and I was like totally on board. And then they pulled up his hospital records and pulled up his weight, and he was already fat. Like it was a lie.
They've tried to use that sometimes against you, like why your client's back's messed up.
Yes, they do
like,
that
no,
all the
it's 'cause he's
time.
fat.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well,
I had a case where
he's
like
a big
my client,
boy. We did need a special MRI machine to go around him, but he's still hurt.
I had a client that was at a Walmart and there's like a chair display and she sat in the chair and it broke and she like bruised her pelvis and they tried to blame that on her being fat. And I had to like explain that to her.
Yeah.
She was very offended. What kind of case do you hope you never get, but you would take if you got it?
Like a wrongful death,
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously means someone someone died.
I've actually somehow never had a wrongful death.
Really, every single wrongful death I've ever had, I've had a few, have always been minimum limits.
I was going to say like a 25K policy.
Yep,
That's another thing people don't understand. You are limited to the amount of insurance there is. I tell clients all the time, it doesn't matter if you die. If there's only $25,000, you're only getting $25,000.
I always cite that. I'm like, listen, because you got someone who's messed up and it's only $25,000. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to diminish what you're going through, but I've had to have this conversation with grieving widows.
Yeah, whose family members
and
died.
that's all there is, or catastrophically injured, paralyzed people, and there's just $25,000.
That sucks.
And so try to put it in a little perspective, like, could be worse, but did you die?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So every single wrongful death I've ever had is just minimum limits.
Yeah.
Nice part is they do give it to you immediately.
I know. It is very quick. They pay it immediately. Yeah. Actually, I have a case right now. Sorry, we'll get back to that question. But I have a case right now where my guy was on a motorcycle and another accident had happened on the highway like right before, and he like tried to avoid it and like didn't hit the car that was stalled out in the road. But it turns out like everybody else in the accident had died from like the first accident. So we're over here trying to argue the only statute we can really apply is that like he had a duty to move his car out of the road.
Yeah.
But dude was dead. We don't know if he was already dead when like my client hit him or not, but like we just sent that demand, so we'll see how it happens. But I thought it was a pretty interesting case.
We had one that reminds me of a wrongful death I just got recently, but I don't think there's anything we can do. But the person who died, I'm dealing with his mom, but he got hit as a pedestrian by two vehicles that hit and ran, and then two more. So he got re-ran over 3 times.
Oh my God.
So hit and run in the first vehicle. Second vehicle, we have no idea what's happened in that second vehicle. Third, hits him and stops. Fourth, I guess, stopped because they saw if the first person stops, maybe all these other cars don't hit him.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's unclear who actually killed when he actually died. But they did track down the driver of the first vehicle, because they found something on camera, and then they called the lady, and she's like, my car was, I wasn't there, my car was stolen. And then turns out she bought it from a buy here, pay here, or whatever that has trackers on them.
Oh, shit.
And they reached out to that, the dealership, and they're like, oh, nope, that was her. And so she got arrested, and they, manslaughter, and she was high and drunk, apparently.
Oh, my God.
So she's still in jail.
Was there no insurance? Why is there nothing you can do?
We got 25 for her. Well, no, they got that before I even got involved, which
okay.
But then what I'm trying to help with is see if we can
the other cars.
Get the second car, and then just the other cars too. I mean, like you should have stopped for the for the body on the road,
because you don't know, like he could have survived were it not for the last car,
exactly,
or like the third car, or whatever.
And then, but the mom has like a pretty interesting conspiracy theory about like it was targeted and all this kind of crazy stuff. I was like, man, well, how would she know that he would have been on the road?
Right.
She's grieving, so I'm
yeah,
just letting her like, all right, well, I guess we can keep that in our back pocket. This she thinks like the police department is in on it and stuff like that. Like we can.
Oh my god.
First, let's try and get the lower hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at.
Yeah,
on that one.
I have the crazy conspiracy theory clients too that are like, they think it was purposeful or they want the person to go to jail. I'm like, dude, it's literally negligence. Like, it's an accident. It's called an accident.
And they don't realize this, but if it was on purpose, then that insurance doesn't apply.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want it to be on purpose.
Right. Like, yeah, we had one that was just a parking lot accident, and this lady freaked out. She wanted to, like, this kid to go to jail. She wanted to, like, sue him personally and, like, go after his assets and stuff. And I'm like, that is not a thing. She fired us.
Yeah, I've had one who was like, it really was just all about that person being punished. And I was like, okay.
I have a lot of that. That like, he needs to pay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it was an accident.
Well, he is. Then
he's paying, yeah.
Or you have like, oh yeah, he's paying, but it's his insurance. Or they're like, are they okay? And I'm like, it's not them paying, it's their insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the people that don't want to file because they feel bad for the other person. I'm like, it's just their insurance.
Yeah,
don't feel bad.
I would sue my own mother.
Yeah, same.
If she accidentally hit me when we're getting ready on the road trip.
Right, because it's just her insurance. I've actually had a mother-daughter case where, like, the mother hit the daughter before.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting because they lived together, and we had to do depositions, and, like, obviously they lived together.
I've encouraged, I got someone to sue their own grandma. But it was for everyone's benefit. This is good for grandma.
Exactly. I was like, look, if you want to break her off after it settles, go ahead, but
yeah, or
whatever increases her insurance premiums, you could like help her out with that. But.
Exactly, or maybe get grandma to really take a dive in that deposition. Oh my God, she That's amazing. Should we end this work episode with some themed clip reviews?
Yeah.
All right, I got some cool ones
Lawsuit
for us.
meets Airbnb.
Yeah, the perfect intersection.
An Airbnb exposes a guy
Yep.
for cheating on his wife. Now this guy's like, oh, I'm suing you. How dare you?
A guy rented an Airbnb. He and some buddies were going to go watch a college football game. And so he had let the host know, who's a super host. A super host is somebody who rents all the time, has 5 stars, nothing but 5 stars. And that's very important to people that are Airbnb owners. And said, I'm going to have a couple buddies and we're going to go watch the game and hang out. Okay. And there were rules on that particular home for how many guests that you could have. There's security system. The super host is able to.
This already, I can tell where this is going. This reminds me of Colombia, where they're like, you know, to have guests.
Because of the prostitutes, they don't let you take guests to your
Well,
room.
I don't think this one's going the prostitute route. I'm assuming it's just like, but yeah, they're like always regulating who can, if you can have any company over. Oh, that reminds me of another funny story from earlier. But when we check into the hotel, we're checking in and they're like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We checked in and like Ian checks in first. And they're like, is there anybody else on your reservation? He's like, no. And they're like, do you know Lindsay? He's like, oh, yeah, Lindsay. I was like, who the fuck is Lindsay? I thought he had somebody like meeting him in Arizona. Shafi, see, I had your back. But it turns out it was the girl that booked our rooms.
yeah, it was pretty funny watching your face. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I played because I was like, oh, yeah, that's her name. Because that's not our rep. Like that was, so it was like, I knew that name only from a text like that for a few minutes before. But yeah, we didn't have any of those shenanigans.
No shenanigans.
At that hotel. It's also interesting that they're doing that in Airbnb. But then again, I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs in Colombia where they also regulate.
Oh, I didn't know they did that at the Airbnbs.
Yeah,
there.
not that that matters when we're going to Colombia,
Right.
going for work, but still, they're like, all right, no guests, but it also I have guests over, meaning like my team.
Yeah, that's what happened to me at the Charlie. I tried to bring my team or 2 of them up.
Yeah, and they're like,
it was Kathy and Maribel. Tried to bring them up, and they were like, nope, sorry. And I'm like,
they're not.
I'm a girl, first of all. Even if they were prostitutes, well. No, that's not what I meant, but you know what I mean.
It's okay because they're girls.
Right.
No one cares.
Right.
But she's hot. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a thing there. And yeah, I ran into that too where I'm like, we're just working. It's the daytime.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that you can't have hookers during the
Nobody
daytime.
wants a day shift hooker.
Yeah, you don't want to look yourself in the mirror during the light.
Right.
What have I done? You're disgusting. All right, let's see where this goes.
Cameras and see what's going on outside the property, not inside. So what happens is he rolls in and he
Also, I know it's policy in Colombia, but I can't imagine some fucking Airbnb host being like, sir, you need to, who is that woman? You know,
Yeah.
like, you fucking cockblock. Like,
Right, exactly.
let a man live. But also, you also don't know that he's cheating on his wife. I don't condone that, but like,
Exactly.
you know,
But none of your business.
Yeah, exactly.
bringing many, many more people, and they get noise complaints, and the police are called. And so this woman, the superhost, goes and looks at her camera system and sees there's not 4 people there, there's 13 people there, and they're having a party. So she messages them through the app.
Okay, that's not just the lady friend over, but
Right.
that's guys bring some girls over, we're hanging
Right.
out, and then maybe he's gonna cheat later. Ooh.
It says everybody must leave except for the 4. And he said, we're not making any noise. We didn't do anything. And so they get into a spat back and forth. Well, under the rules that she had with him, she sent him a $960 bill for the additional guest. He refused to pay. So then she responds and says, look, I've looked at the cameras. Would you like me to send this picture to Teresa?
Damn, does she know his wife personally?
Teresa. Well, she'd gotten on Facebook and seen that his wife's name was Teresa. And it's this guy walking into the Airbnb with a very young, very attractive female that is not his wife.
Not Teresa.
And so then she says, and nice bag. Where did she get the bag? And she
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Damn.
That's also like that's
It's kinda
exploitation.
awesome.
It is definitely awesome, and like I can't wait to see where this goes. But you're not supposed to do that to get
to get like a bad review removed or whatever, but I guess also to get them to pay the extra bill.
But that should I think if she had just stuck with like just pay your bill you owe,
Yeah,
then she's
then-
above board. But the moment you're like, or I'll expose you to your wife.
blackmailing him. Uh-huh.
That's wild. That's
Is he suing Airbnb or suing the host? Well, let's get there.
Yeah.
and so starts to extort him. Extortion is illegal.
Sure.
So yes, you have somebody who rented an Airbnb that then did not follow the rules, that then was told you have to pay more money. Now, what a normal person would do under those circumstances is probably say, here's the money, let's let this die down. For him to get into this war with her when she says, I've got these photographs I could send to your wife, he still fought with her.
Well, what did the superhost
Big
do?
mistake.
She sent the
Pictures to his wife, who then got the photographs, who then filed divorce. So now they're going through divorce proceedings. Very expensive, very messy. And the question
This
is,
lady is like the 50 Cent of Airbnb hosts.
Yeah, that's a savage.
I love it.
Savage move.
rented, the cheater, if we're going to use it, does
Yeah,
the
sure.
cheater have a basis to sue her and Airbnb? Because he's named Airbnb in the lawsuit also. And the answer is yes, he does. As hard as that's going to be for your listeners to hear,
You are not allowed
Is this guy a
under
lawyer?
law to extort somebody. If
Sounds
you find
like it.
somebody did something wrong or you've got proof.
Well, he's
you can
on-
Say you give me money or
I think so because they're on some radio station. You know, like most radio stations got some lawyer who like
Yeah.
pays their advertising, comes on and talks legal questions.
Interesting.
I'm assuming that's what's going on.
Because I was going to say, I didn't know if you could sue for that, but I guess you can sue her for extortion. I don't know that Airbnb would be liable, though.
Yeah, I'm wondering the
And is it extortion if it's something that you were legally obligated to do anyways? Like, he was supposed to pay that money. Would it still be extortion if she, like, threatens him to make him do something he was already supposed to do?
I think so because the same way that like it could be a legitimate debt, but if you threaten
Yeah.
them with violence, it's still illegal.
Shows how much I know.
Because pay me my money.
extortion's illegal.
That's the quid pro quo.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Now, is he an idiot? Yes. Should he have been there with her? No. Once that was exposed and he knew what was going on, should he have just paid this woman to keep it quiet? You'd have thought he'd have done that for his own well-being, but he chose not to. It became public. He's now getting divorced, so now there's this lawsuit moving forward, and it's going to go before a jury. So your question is, from a juror perspective, I put you on the jury stand,
Yes.
and you're hearing the story, even though under the law he has a claim for extortion and the wreckage of his marriage, which is causing him untold amounts of money, do you as a juror find for him or not? The law is going to be on his side,
The fact that the Airbnb host
right?
broke the law
Right?
to try to get him to do something, and by breaking the law, ruined his life, I kind of have to find in favor of the guy.
But what are his damages? He's claiming that his damages are the
Half.
ruin of his marriage.
Half.
But she's not the cause of the ruining of the marriage is him cheating, not her exposing it necessarily.
Yeah, I definitely think that this guy. I mean, after we finish watching the clip, we gotta Google and see if we have like an update.
Yeah.
But and also like
The jury's not going to find for him, I don't think. Even if like the law is totally
also
on
the
his
jury's
side.
not gonna love this guy.
Right,
They're gonna-
exactly.
you dirty cheater. And like the liability on Airbnb. As much as I want to be like screw you, and
There's none on Airbnb.
I just don't see it. Like how is that there?
Yeah.
because of the
They can't control what somebody else says or does on there. Like
Their-
I guess
their
they could
host
have blocked the
extorting them?
messages or something, but yeah, no.
And it was just his own decisions. Who's like,
Yeah.
I'd love to see the discovery on this. And the
And
back and
dude,
forth.
he's like digging himself a way bigger hole because now he's gonna have to get into like the reasons behind the cheating and would he have gotten divorced anyways were it not for the extortion and like all this
and
shit.
also
he's
he
probably
should-
gonna have to like make up reasons for why he cheated on his wife and that she sucks.
should
and,
have
like,
just paid, which reminds me of Diddy. This
Yeah.
whole fucking thing happened because he didn't. He got
should have
into
just paid.
Should have just paid. Got instead of getting to war, and then she sues, and it backs down real quick. But it's too
Yep,
late,
Too late.
and that's what's happened to this guy.
Yep.
Just don't have maybe just one bottle of
Right,
baby
you
oil instead
gotta-
of 1,000.
if the judge
Instructs you on the law, even if you morally are opposed to the outcome, or you're like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or this is not a great guy, you're going to follow the law. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, all jurors
None.
just follow.
They never follow
jury
the law. They
instructions.
just do what they think is right.
Yeah, it's so silly. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, also jury instructions. One thing I found to be really weird, like the first time I started trying cases, is that they're just read aloud.
Yeah.
Like they don't go back with the jury. Were they just supposed to memorize what the judge said?
And, like-
And it's like, 20 minutes of jury
Exactly.
instructions.
That was my point. Like the whole thing that like us as trial attorneys, our strategy is to like make them remember shit. So when
Yeah.
we're talking, we're reinforcing with visuals
Yeah.
and all this other stuff to drive it through your brains. Whereas this judge just rambles on.
In legalese
yeah.
too, like shit
all
that like
boring legal, and it's
barely
like
makes sense to us as attorneys, and they expect like lay people to not only understand it but memorize it
And then
apply
apply
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like impossible.
exactly. So for him to be like, oh,
I
well,
wonder what the logic is of not sending the jury instructions back with the jury.
I'm glad that they don't.
Yes.
All right. What about you? Are you going to follow the law?
I don't know. I mean, I like the thing you said about going ahead and paying her so it goes away. But my question would be, what stops her from asking for more money?
Extortion down the road again.
Yeah.
That's the hole you get into. Now, I'll tell you, as a trial lawyer, when we're doing voir dire,
I guess I would just find out, you know?
Yeah.
She said it's just for the extra guests. You pay. If there's a second time, then you start going to war
Right,
with her.
exactly. Then
Absurd
deal
behavior.
with it. And I wonder if there's like an argument that he didn't mitigate his own damages by like just paying the lady.
Yeah. You didn't have to get caught for cheating.
Right.
we're picking our jurors. We're trying to determine what type of juror coming from what background would be best for this case.
You want cheaters. You want all cheaters
My
on your
guess is
jury.
if I were to focus group this case,
All men.
that you would not want women on the jury.
There
Yeah,
he
You
goes.
would not want
definitely.
married women on the jury
Because they'd say you shouldn't have cheated.
They're going to say you shouldn't have cheated. I don't care what the law is. I hope that your ex-wife gets everything and you're not getting anything from this woman. And they would not.
You want like a single 45-year-old man with 5 baby moms.
Yeah. You want a guy in his like second marriage.
Right.
You want some coxman, you know.
You want a guy that lost everything in a divorce
Yeah.
because he cheated.
Exactly. You know, it is Airbnb's fault that I
Right.
cheated on my wife. It gave such an awesome, pad, and then these babes wanted to
Right,
come
you
to
want
it.
me to not
She
invite
saw her
hot
in the
chicks to
cameras.
this awesome
Yeah,
house?
look, have you seen our view?
Did you see the pool?
And then, of course, she didn't have a bathing suit, so we had to get into it the skinny style. Yeah.
Probably would.
And they're going to award the $900 to the Airbnb host.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if she countersued for the $960.
Listen, you fucked up your life. Your wife hates. Your ex-wife hates you.
But
But
what
you
about that $960?
Need that $900.
There were mistakes made by everybody. He obviously shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have taken somebody that wasn't his wife. But he also shouldn't have had a big party, got himself in trouble, got the cameras looked at, and then once it was exposed to him, should have just given her the $960 because now it's a huge deal. Anybody out there listening goes Google Airbnb host sued for cheating. It's everywhere. So now it's everywhere.
That's
Yeah, wow.
insane.
Guess we'll do that real quick.
I know. I want to see the outcome of this. You watching Lane Kiffin videos?
I was watching his press conference
Oh.
from when he took the job. What if we have some of the actual photos? This is from 2024 too, so it's got to
Look,
be an update.
Airbnb host shares guests' private information. That's not his private information. It's literally on a camera outside.
Give me another female. Let's see if we have any pictures. 22. Oh man, we got to read this complaint later. I guess we never will because we'll
Yeah.
be on from this. But if we had an intern. Oh, look at that.
Oh shit.
There
There
we got
he
to. I'll send
is.
this article. We can pop this shit on. That's pretty funny. There he goes in. Very low key dinner. Will not be spending the night. Okay. Booked a place. He said he may invite additional pals over for a low key dinner, but they will not be spending the night, according to emails. Sounds like a lovely time. I'll be delighted to host you all. Could accommodate up to 12 guests. No objection to additional guests. Pretty sure he could just add them to the guests anytime. Okay. Long list of house rules: no smoking or vaping, excessive noise, blah blah blah. $500 fine. We'll take care of your home.
And she reminded him that there's security cameras in use at all times outside the house.
He
and
said
he's-
only 4 or 5 will be staying overnight. Sometimes that's the plan.
Yeah, and then people get wasted.
And then she wanted to stay too. What can I say? No parties. The guest count tripling. Hey Sean, add extra guests and I'll leave immediately. I'm very disturbed that you violated the no party rule. Disturb my neighbors. Blah. Okay, let's see. No party rule taking place.
No one has been yelling or cursing.
Oh, here we go. Some receipts. Hello, Sean. Hope you are well. Sorry it took so long to get the photos you requested together to show your stay at our home, but I have faith. Was driven by integrity, so I committed to get those posted for you and Airbnb. The photo at 3:60 a.m. is especially notable. Should I forward the photos and videos to Teresa, or will you? The videos will come shortly. I think they are too big for. Oh man. For text, I will post to YouTube. Have a wonderful weekend.
YouTube? Damn.
Trying to drive YouTube. Then she leaves. Mackie left a negative review of stay and requested a partial refund, which was denied. She started harassing about his review and concerned about her superhost status. Okay, so this is
Oh, so it was extortion for the review. Well, she extorted before he wrote the bad review,
Yeah.
but
that's
it looks like she went
hilarious.
harder once he wrote the bad review. So I guess
Okay.
the only liability on Airbnb could be for them not removing the review because of the extortion. Wait,
And
no,
then
but it was
also-
his review.
Airbnb charged him for $900, leading to an extortion attempt. Okay, so the host set up a fake email account, which she
With
used
a
to send an
sexually
email.
suggestive handle.
Sean69. And that's pretty funny. With the subject line, nice bag. Oh, so the,
How was Sean 69 not already taken?
I love your bag. Where'd you get it? Oh, man. So she did thread about.
Wait, who did she email from the fake email?
I think it was who allegedly said, which she used to send an email.
Oh, to his wife that said nice bag.
And is the guy's name Sean? Sean Mackey? Let me see. Very tough.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wait, they just had the little bit. Oh, this is the action. It's in Memphis. I just drove through Memphis on the way to Thanksgiving. Pamela, the superhost. That's pretty cool that they put her on blast and we have the actual
I know.
listing.
She denied sending the email with the photo. It's literally a photo from her own security cameras.
That's hilarious.
That is so funny. Seeking unspecified actual and punitive damages and an injunction. What's the injunction that they're asking for? Go back down. And an injunction to prevent similar action taken.
Oh, so he's trying to
other
be like a
customers.
homie, be like, you know
He
what?
wants- yeah.
Anyone else who's been caught with a
Right.
side piece, Airbnb's
He
got to
wants
stop
an
them.
injunction against Airbnb. What could they have done to stop this?
Yeah, she already. The platform you get each other's contact info, so she
Yeah.
can extort him with or without Airbnb.
Right.
And I guess his only argument is that Airbnb sided with her on the dispute. But what does that have to do with her?
Airbnb
extortion?
filed a motion to compel arbitration in the case. Yeah, I'm sure their user agreement requires
That happened to me
arbitration.
when I tried to sue them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then so that was back in. Well,
Should we
maybe we
finish
do an
watching the
update on
video?
that later. Wait, what?
Should we finish watching the video?
That was the video.
We finished it?
Yeah.
It was over? No, it was still going.
Yeah, it was. That was the end of it.
If he needs a lawyer, the lawyer who knows all. I don't know. Would you take his case?
No, because my wife would.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm not on
'Cause
this.
I do have to go home at night. And,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, look at that second video. Wait, go back up.
All right. Well, those are some gnarly.
I also cannot draw the and. That kind of and sign, I don't know why. My
do
brain
this?
does it like all
Yeah.
weird. I do like a cursive S on accident.
Cursive.
Right.
Gross.
These kids don't even know cursive anymore.
We can get. Well, maybe we could dive into. We'll do an up. We can
Yeah,
do an
next
update
episode.
on the cheaters lawsuit and a couple
Yeah.
more.
Look it up in the district court in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, that's been another episode of Once Upon a B&B.
This is Maha.
And this is Ian. We'll see you next time.
Bye.